My question for you, Bahari, was what is life in Iran like?
So I don't live in Iran now, currently, because yeah, I
Okay.
live in Canada. So,
Oh,
but my
nice.
parents are there. So it's everything is getting worse, unfortunately, because of some reasons.
Yeah.
And the economic situation is very bad. And
Hmm.
there's so many, bad stuff happening there.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to hear
so
that.
yeah, it's getting like worse, unfortunately. But
Do you miss the Iran that you grew up in, your home? Like, I know I have visited the world and traveled a lot and tried to relocate to different places, and you still get homesick. You like the place that you're in, but sometimes you miss home. Like, do you ever feel that way in Canada, living as like a citizen of Canada now?
yeah, to be honest, I love my country. I love some
Yeah,
places, and I really miss some places, my family, um, but not the government for sure.
of course. Yeah. It's
Because,
pretty.
yeah, the only reason that I came here was that I had a job in Iran and I was okay financially, and I had my parents' support. But because of freedom, I really couldn't, stand that situation anymore. And I said, okay, I had enough and I have to go. And that's why I came here. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think about a lot about my country because it's just my country, my home. And yeah, but I but sometimes, in this situation with this government, I really cannot go back to Iran and live
I
there
see.
anymore. Yeah,
Would they
but
persecute you?
I'm sorry.
Would they persecute you?
Would they arrest you?
Uh, yeah, I
Thank you,
mean,
John. Or make your life intolerable or miserable, I should say.
I mean, I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
I said the reason I said arrest is because they arrest people, free thinkers like
randomly.
Bahari sometimes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
because I
Bahari,
did
I'm
a lot.
taking you're very democratic and open-minded, and that's not welcomed in your native lands.
Exactly, and I did a lot here. Like 3 years ago, I participated in some protests against the government, and
I
I,
like it.
I, yeah, and I usually talk a lot on Twitter and here sometimes. So I really don't know if I go back there, I'm safe or not. And so
Okay.
maybe now I'm safe here in Canada. But yeah, they just arrest people uh, randomly, you know,
Hmm.
without any reason.
Is it true in Iran today
Sorry, you're breaking up. I cannot hear you.
that women basically don't have? Can you hear me now?
Uh, yeah, now I can hear you.
Is it true in Iran that, like right now, presently, that women do not have a lot of rights to like access higher education in the universities and to work freely in a lot of professions and all the things? Like, do women not have the same rights as they do here? Because obviously you hear that they don't, but then some people in Iran say that that's not true. Women can go to university and all the things.
To be honest, they actually have access to high education because, all my friends and I and everyone just go to university and they get their PhD or masters. And yeah, and I know so many people who are like my friends or a manager or they work and they have a job actually. But the problem is that they don't have some really basic rights. You know what I mean? For example, they cannot choose their clothing, like what they want to wear. This is a problem in Iran. And for example, if I was married when I was in Iran, and if I wanted to leave the country, I needed my husband's permission, just like this kind of, rights, this kind of, rules against women. But regarding education, yeah, all of them are educated, most of them, I mean, and they have a job and they're good. Yeah. But there are so many, bad stuff, happening against women.
I have a psychological question for you because that's my area of expertise. I have 2 masters and I'm a doctorate resident student now. It's just
Yeah,
really a social question for you, curiosity.
of course.
And
Yeah, of
there's no
course.
wrong answer. I'm just curious what your perspective is. We see two extremes in the world, right? We see countries like some countries in the Middle East, for example, that have what you're describing as more of like an oppressive requirement of women in their standards of modesty and the way that they dress. And then in other countries like mine and yours, there is really no standard. Women can basically be almost naked in the street, absent like covering their nipples and a few parts of their body. So, in my opinion, both extremes are not good. So, how do you propose that countries could cultivate a societal norm that's balanced, that's neither oppressive nor basically pornographic and naked?
I think that's a really hard question, to be honest, to answer. But I'm against both, like being, having that much right to go on the street naked and, you know, or
Hmm.
being oppressed by a government. Okay.
Yeah.
Where they do that at?
I'm
What?
sorry.
Hmm.
Where do they do that at?
Where do they do what at?
Go on the street naked?
No, I was describing the conditions socially here in
Just
America and in Canada where women can basically go out almost naked. There's nothing left to the imagination. We saw this trend recently where like wearing basically a sports bra with like bicycle shorts, basically underwear, was like a thing. And then we saw even a fat mesh
Steve,
type
ain't no way.
sports bras where everything was basically uncovered except the nipples of the breast and like a basically naked in the street. You might as well be at that point. So I was just asking her, like, the both extremes, the oppressive version versus the radical, incredible immodesty that's pervasive here in the West. What's the balance? How do we achieve balance?
so what do you think? So yeah, I would like to hear your opinion on this matter.
Me?
Because, no,
Me?
I mean,
Her?
Jesse,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or you, Sarah, or
I don't even know what to say to that because to be honest, I dress modestly, but it's like a classy modest. You know what I mean? Like it's not like crazy exposed, a lot of women don't do that anymore. And you're right, they don't leave anything to the imagination. So the rules in that context is just very scattered. Like it's very blurry lines, I will say.
Yeah. I think when we see extreme departures from what I call tradition in a healthy way. You know,
yeah,
Iran, once upon a time, had a healthy balance of tradition, just like the Western European countries, the Eastern ones, and even America. Women dressed normally but modestly, and they were out in the street. Their faces were uncovered. They didn't have to wear hijab, etc. And we saw the same thing throughout the world in historically Christian nations, including America. But I think the further that we moved away from tradition, the more that we embrace um, sort of modern, progressive, and socialized norms, the more that we eradicated. It's like an extreme pendulum, right? Some countries clung to the extreme opposite of oppressiveness, like oppression, like Iran. And then other countries like ourselves embraced a radical opposite swing, which is like everything is permissible. And so I think the balance comes from people reclaiming what is natural, what is stable, and what is healthy for a thriving society. And I think we would be remiss, even if people choose not to get married, we would be remiss to say that marriage is not good for society, that the propagation of children is not good for society, that families are not good for society. Those things are required to make communities and cultures flourish and thrive. The only way to survival of any culture or religion is through marriage and the propagation of children. And so I think that in modern progressive Western countries in particular, there's this idea that like marriage is bad, patriarchy is bad, children are bad, everything's bad. And it's just this extreme swing in the opposite direction. I like balance, I like a moderate, healthy
Mhm.
dose of balance. And I think whenever we go to any direction of the extreme, the outcome is typically not going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We need balance for sure. But there's no balance in the world in general. In
Mm.
my opinion, especially
No.
these days. Yeah,
Also,
Everything,
I see a lot
everything
of
is
people
radically
who,
oppressive and like violent or radical liberal.
exactly. Yeah. Like here, yeah.
Go ahead,
I don't
Sarah.
know.